Okay, so there's a lot of talk about good sleep hygiene if you're going to rest and recover enough to grow muscle. And nobody's ever ranked bedtimes. This is extremely important. Why wouldn't we rank the best bedtimes to get the best amount of sleep? The definitive list of the best bedtimes in my professional opinion. And here we go. Let's do it. We're going to take it right in the order they appear here. We're going to go with midnight. I don't love midnight. What midnight tells me is that I just kind of stayed up scrolling maybe I watched a movie. I started watching a movie at like 9 something, and then my bedtime routine took me to midnight where I just couldn't get to sleep for some reason. So to me, this is frustrating. I do not love this. This is going to be a B tier bedtime. I'm going to choose a different one now. Let's go. Let's change things up a little bit. 4 a.m. Okay, so 4 a.m. It tells me a lot of things. I clearly had a crazy freaking night. I probably was out drinking, dancing, all sorts of crazy stuff. I mean, it might have been fun, but boy, there's going to be a hangover tomorrow. There's no way in heck I'm going to get a good night's sleep because I'm still going to wake up at a pretty early time. Like at least a day is ruined after this. This to me, even though I might have had a good time, is probably like as big a case for a D tier bedtime as you can pretty much make. Just for the sake of this discussion, we are going to draw the day-night distinction at, let's say, 6. So if I do 6 right now, what I mean is 6 a.m. Oy. I can't even imagine. That's horrendous. I don't even want to think about that. You know what that is? That's you took an international flight. This actually happened to me once. You took an international flight and you swore you would sleep on it, or you took a red-eye flight even, and you swore you would sleep on it and you didn't, and then you swore that you would stay up and you couldn't. And I did this once. It wasn't quite 6 a.m., but I remember getting to London, England, and I didn't sleep, and I wound up going to sleep at like 10 a.m. or something, local time. Oh boy, that was not a good idea. So this is going to be another D-tier bedtime, 6 a.m. Okay, so what that means is that 7 p.m. is the other one. 7 p.m. This is our split here. I'm going to say 7 p.m. You're going to bed at that time. That probably means you're sick. Yeah, there's just no way around it. You've got to be ill. Because 7 p.m., I mean, it gets dark where I live here at like 4 p.m. during the winter. Going to bed at 7, unless you're climbing into bed and you're watching movies for another couple hours, which is not really strictly what we're talking about here. This is literally attempting to go to sleep time. So 7 p.m. rather doesn't say a lot of good things about what's going on with you. I'm going to put that as a C tier bedtime for sure. Okay, now moving right along, let's go with 8 p.m. This, however, I freaking love. Okay, so like I mentioned, it gets dark here in the winter, say around 4 p.m. It's cold, it's rainy, sometimes it's snowy. It's just not pleasant. Don't worry, it's Vancouver. It's only like that for like 7 or 8 months of the year, maybe 9. It could be sometimes 10 if it's kind of like a late summer. But like otherwise, it's beautiful. So I'm gonna say 8 p.m. What I love is I have a projector in my room. I don't even have to close the blinds. It's dark already, but I go in there and I can start chilling. And I know I said 8 is, this should be the bedtime, not the time you're just kind of going to chill in your room. But I like to think it's super dope. I love to think that I'm just kind of retreating to my little den at 8. So I'm going to put that as like, it's almost S tier, but I'm going to go with A tier, like an A tier winter time. If this is summertime, it's not a great thing. I mean, it kind of says that, well, I am an introvert, but it really doesn't speak well of you if you're going to bed at 8 p.m. on a consistent basis when it stays sunny here till 10 p.m. in the summer. But anyways, 8 p.m. in the winter, A tier bedtime. Okay, what else we got? I think we're going to go with our first S tier bedtime of 10 p.m. Sorry to spoil it, 10 p.m. This is my target, one of my targets at least, on a nightly basis is a 10 p.m. bedtime. I wake up, spoiler alert, at like 5, sometimes even slightly before. If I sleep in, it's like till 6, maybe 7. I don't, unfortunately, get as much sleep as I'd like. I try so hard, but I just can't. But to me, 10 p.m. is that S tier bedtime. That's the gold standard for me. Okay, let's look at, let's just go with 2 a.m. Okay, 2 a.m. You definitely did something interesting. You went out. Very much like our 1 a.m. bedtime. Something, and I still think you've got enough time to like salvage things. Like, you know, it may not be the longest sleep or the best quality sleep, but if you sleep from like 2 to 7, that's still 5 hours. You're going to be somewhat functional. Maybe you didn't drink a lot. I'm going to put this as a B tier bedtime. It's not the absolute worst. And similarly, 1 a.m. says the same thing. Actually, I think that's a bit better because that actually says that you did something cool and you were responsible enough to probably you got in at midnight and then you took a little bit and you like, you know, had you shower and you cleaned yourself up and you drank some water and you probably didn't even have that much time to drink yourself too silly or anything, you know, crazy like that. So this actually is an A tier bedtime, as strange as that sounds for someone who goes to bed at like, you know, 10 p.m. or 10 p.m. being an S tier bedtime at least. I'm going to say that that's an A tier bedtime because it says interesting, good things about what, you know, what you did with your evening. I don't do that bedtime very often at all, like single digits every year, maybe the amount of times I go to bed at that time. And most of them like when I'm on vacation or something. And similarly, let's look at some other ones. Oh, okay, let's do 11. 11 to me, A tier bedtime. I missed the mark on my 10 p.m. It's not great. Nothing else interesting happened. So that's an A tier bedtime. 5 a.m. I don't even think I need to talk about this. That's just insane. It's right up there with the 6 a.m. and the 4 a.m. Look at that. What a surprise. They're all D tier bedtimes for me. No thank you. Not interested. Maybe in a few weeks, there are going to be some good stories that came out of those 4, 5, and 6 a.m. bedtimes. But boy, for like the next day or two after that, you are going to regret it. So those are D tier bedtimes for sure for me. And I'm going to go with another S tier bedtime for me, 9 p.m. That is what I shoot for. That 9, you know, basically if I can get into bed by 9, sometimes I'm lights out by 9, like asleep by 9, other times it's 10, but that is the sweet spot. So if I'm going from 9 or 10 to like 5, maybe even 6, that's crazy. That's the sleep I need. That's, you know, what does that come to? 2, 6, 8, I don't know, somewhere around 8 hours of total time in bed maybe, but actual quality sleep is more like, usually it's like 6.5 hours of quality sleep. Actually, I know this because I've tracked my sleep for years and years and years on various devices like the Oura smart ring, or now it's the, I have my Google Pixel watch that uses Fitbit. And basically my average sleep time, like a sleep time, is about 6 hours and 30 minutes or so. So there you go. And that kicks off around 9 or 10 p.m. And then here's our last one. I'm going to go with C tier for 3 a.m. You are still getting to bed at an incredibly late hour, but it's not 4, 5, or 6. And you probably had a great time. So there we are. There's our bedtime tier list for, you know, dudes in their 40s. Let me know what you think. Would you have sorted this any different? I'm curious. This was a fun one because my editor is like, your videos are too long. And I agree. Sometimes I'm like, I don't have hours and hours to make a video. So I thought today, let's just make a video about my favorite bedtimes. And here we are. Now you have it. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, whatever you feel like. If you didn't, then just move on and don't tell anyone about this video. Thanks to everyone who has liked and subscribed so far. We are up to, oh my goodness, dozens of views, several hundred as a matter of fact. And I think we have over 100 subscribers now, 107 to be exact. So exciting times. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.